Thank you everyone for coming. Before we start, Bill Shields is the president of the...
Yeah, I'm president of Princeton, company number one. And in case you didn't realize, there's 3 companies in town. We're number 1. There's a hook and ladder on Harris Street, and number 3 located down on Witherspoon. Our truck is actually out of here right now. Housed at number 3. There's a small issue with the floor to fix up underneath, and we'll have a truck back in here. Just for your benefit, this company basically been around since 1794. The department around since 1788. This building was built back in this section 1949. Later on in the evening, if you look by the TV to the left, you'll see the original house built back in the mid-1800s, and you can actually see the original structure sheet that was torn down. So after the meeting, feel free to check everything out. We're all volunteers. This bell used to be on the roof. It came down out of the belfry a few years ago, and they wanted to scrap it. We decided to make it a keepsake. The ladies' room is here, men's room there. In any event, any fire, get 2 exits this way. So enjoy yourself. Good luck.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, so why don't we get started? I want to thank everyone for coming. Let me just kind of explain, I guess, my own involvement. So you know where I am and why I sent that letter. I was asked to join Princeton Future, and I became familiar with Princeton Future when I was on council years ago, and it was a question of what to do with the library and the park and shop lot at that time. And Princeton Future played a critical role in creating what I'll call a form or an environment for creative thinking in the community, which wasn't necessarily possible in a council meeting or in any type of decision, in a forum in front of a decision-making body. And it made possible the type of creative thinking that led to the plaza, and that was 10 years or so ago. And Princeton Future's been involved in a number of other endeavors in Princeton to provide the same sort of forum for creative thinking on how we want to make Princeton the town that we want to be, how to preserve Princeton, the town of Princeton as the way we enjoy it. So I was asked to join Princeton Future. I attended an October forum where different sites around town were discussed. One of the sites was the Old May West Coast Video site, and so I was involved in that discussion. I had my own thoughts about it, what would work there, and I talked to my neighbors about it, and sure enough, all the ideas I had were totally inconsistent with what my neighbors were thinking about it. And I thought it might be a good idea to get a few people together to talk about what the neighborhood thinks about it, especially since we've had these now 2 vacant buildings that have been there for a long time vacant. And a couple of us got together to think about ways of how to reach out to people. One idea was a survey, and so hopefully you've gotten that survey in the mail, and hopefully you've responded to it. If you haven't, please do. You can respond to it online. You can, if you have it with you tonight, you could leave it here tonight, or you could go home and mail it in. And hopefully you can talk to your neighbors and encourage them, or spouses or partners, and encourage them to respond to the survey. With the objective of seeing whether there's any type of consensus as residents of what we would like to see happen at the Olive May West Coast Video site. One, to share with the owners, this is what we'd like to see, recognizing that we don't necessarily have control as a property owner, certainly control the way we did the park and shop lot, but we can perhaps encourage the owners to do certain things with them, and also let them know what we would oppose. And if there were any variances that were required, we could go in as partners to encourage the type of development we'd be interested in. Or if something was going to go there that would be particularly upsetting, that the owners would know that they would face neighborhood opposition. Anyway, that's kind of where I come from. And for full disclosure, my wife and I know personally the owner of the West Coast Video property. The status of that is that there is a pharmacy that has a lease on that until 2015. And so, the question of what's going to happen with that. Anyway, so the meeting is not for you to hear about me talk. We wanted to go around, and there are a lot of people here. I think we'll be here all night if we go to every single person, which was the original thought. But maybe people want to share their thoughts about what they, on the agenda. Well, we could start going around. Indicate your name, where you live. I guess if we could keep it to like 30 seconds, you came here because of what you would like to see. But before we do that, let me just kind of point out a couple of people here. One is Sheldon, who's with Princeton Future, and has been really helpful in organizing this and helping with the survey. And so with that, let me point out Larry Kujic, who's been fabulous in helping us get this survey sent out. Larry's background is with Pew, and the survey that we've circulated, in my view, meets all sorts of standards in terms of trying to produce a statistically valid, credible assessment of the views of the neighborhood. And all the surveys, there's a code on them. They're confidential, but there's a code so that we know that everyone's sending back a single survey, and so that the results will be as meaningful as possible. So Larry, thank you for all of your help. The Princeton Survey Research Associates, Larry's group, is doing all of its surveys pro bono. And Jim Constantine, who's got a group of students, he's going to say things later, is working with students at Rutgers that are planning for, they're coming up with development concepts for different sites of Princeton, 4 different sites of Princeton, one of them being this particular site. So anyway, having said that, let me jump to Todd.